For the August real estate market update, we'll touch on how the market is behaving similarly across the Bay and where it's different. So overall, between Santa Clara and San Mateo counties, the inventory level versus last month has gone down by about 10% for condos, townhomes, and single families. That's consistent. And that's a function of seasonality. Inventory tends to start going down towards the end of the summer, and it should be at its lowest during the holidays for Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and then pick back up next year. In comparison to last year, inventory is still higher than it was in 2018. Right now, condos in both counties are selling faster than single-family homes. Could be because they're less expensive, could be because single families tend to be tied more to schools than condominiums and townhomes, so there's just less demand for single families right now. So the market activity in Santa Clara County has stayed pretty much the same in comparison to last month. What I mean by that is the number of homes that are pending. For single families, it's in the mid-900s right now, and for condos, it's in the mid-300s, which is pretty much the same where it was last month. Not the case for Santa Clara County. What's interesting is, again, also unchanged, if we look at the list to sales price ratio across the different cities, you see that it's still a balanced, more or less a balanced market between buyers and sellers in terms of how much over the list price homes are selling for. And what's interesting to note is the more expensive areas such as Saratoga, Los Altos, and so forth, where the median price is 2 to 3 and plus million, they're more of buyers tend to have a slight edge, slight upper hand when it comes to negotiation. Now, outside of the luxury market, the median price for the county is at 1.3 million for single-family homes. And that's the vast majority of the market, and it's more of a balance between buyers and sellers. And sellers continue to have a slight upper hand. What I mean by that is you can look at the list to sales price ratio, which is hovering just over 100%, meaning homes are selling for just a little bit more than they're listed for. Now, this really depends on where you are in each city. A city like San Jose is very large and diverse, but even in smaller cities like Palo Alto and Mountain, you can have an area where the seller's agents strategically list their homes lower than other parts of the city, and that of course plays into the ratio over here. So it's very important to look at this statistic and compare it to how long it takes for a home to sell. Because right now, throughout the Bay, I'd say about a quarter of homes are overpriced. So let's look at San Mateo County. As we talked about, condominiums and townhomes tend to sell faster versus single families across the Bay. And for San Mateo County, it's a much more pronounced impact. Townhomes and condos are selling 30% faster versus last month, for example. And the overall market activity has slowed down a little bit, unlike the South Bay. So when we look at single-family homes, there are only about 300 of them that are under contract right now. And if we add the condos and townhomes, we're looking at about 420 homes under contract. It's down by about 10% versus last month. And the inventory level is down by about 10% versus last month, consistent with the South Bay. What's different is in South Bay, the homes under contract are pretty much unchanged. So it looks like there's a little bit more buyer demand there right now. Nothing to be alarmed about, it's just month-over-month trends. So again, we'll see the market take a little bit of a pause from an activity perspective as we get towards the end of the year. It has nothing to do with prices, very important. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Take care.